So right here with me, I actually have my UC application. Hey guys, what's up? It's Paris, also known as the Sweet Pea, and today I'm going to be doing a video about how to transfer from a community college to a UC university, or University of California. So this video is focused on people who are transferring from a California community college to a UC, or that want to transfer to a UC. If you are out of state, this kind of applies to you too, because most of the requirements are going to be the same, but some of them might be a little bit different depending on what state you're from and things like that. So I went to Santa Monica College for 3 years, and now I'm transferring to UCLA. I applied to 4 UCs. I applied to Berkeley, UCLA, UC Irvine, and UCSB, which is UC Santa Barbara. And I got accepted to all of them, which is so exciting. And as you guys know, I decided to go to UCLA. I applied to Berkeley, UCLA, and UC Irvine with Japanese as my major, and I applied to UC Santa Barbara with communication studies. So my major is Japanese, but I also got an AA degree in communication studies, and I plan to double major at UCLA, but I'm not entirely sure what my second major is going to be, if it's going to be something to do with communications or if it's just going to be something totally different. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First, we're going to go over the minimum requirements to apply to a UC. So first, you need to have a 2.4 GPA if you're in state, and it says you need a 2.8 GPA for non-residents. And I just have this paper that I got from a UC workshop probably like a year ago, because I used to go to like workshops just to find out information about how the application is going to be and to make it as easy as possible, because I did not want the application to be like super hard and super stressful, because it is pretty long, and it can be stressful if you don't know what you're getting into. So you need to have a 2.4 GPA, and you need to get to 60 units before you get to the UC. So everyone knows you need 60 units, but a lot of people are confused about when you need the 60 units. So you only need 60 units the spring before you transfer. So you don't need 60 units to apply. You just need to have 60 units before you get there. So to make it a little easier, I'll just kind of describe my case. So the fall when I applied, I only had 32 units. And this is when fall first started. I had 32 units. That fall I took around 12 or 13 units. And then winter I took 6, and spring I took 11. So by the end of spring I had 64 units, because you basically are applying a whole year in advance before you're gonna get to this school. So you don't need to wait until you get to 60, because then you're gonna be waiting a whole nother year when you could have already started. So I hope that makes sense. If you still have more questions about it, you can like email me or tweet me, or you can just ask your counselor and they'll be able to explain it to you. So you need 60 units the spring before you are going to transfer. And then you also need to complete 2 college level Englishes. At my school, it was English 1 and English 2. And then you need to have a college level math, which for me it was statistics, and then you need a oral communication class such as public speaking. And you should try to do as well as possible in those classes, because those are going to be some of the classes that they're going to be looking at the grades for, and they're very important for the application. Also need, this is a little bit hard for me to explain, but you need 4 courses from 2 of the following areas at least. So the areas are physical and biological sciences, arts and humanities, and social/behavioral sciences. So you need to have 4 classes from at least 2 of those categories. So for example, you could take biology, chemistry, art history, and Japanese. So those are 2 different categories, and it's 4 classes. So that's just an easy way to break it down. You can always get a full list of all the requirements for UC at your counseling office, and you'll like know which classes to take. But that was just an easy breakdown of like the type of classes that you have to take just to be able to apply. Or not to be able to apply, but just to be able to transfer, because you don't need to have all these classes before you apply. You can apply and then plan to take them like the next semester or even that same semester. So applications for UCs, I was gonna say for UCLA, applications for UCs are due November 1st through 30th. and they open around August. For last year, the applications opened August 1st, so I was able to go into the application and start filling things out. I just wasn't able to turn it in until November. So that was really helpful to be able to look at it in advance and see what I was actually going to have to, like input and like information that I would need to know. It is November 1st through 30th, but last year they extended it, but don't count on them extending it this year. Make sure you're ready to apply by the 30th. I sent mine in around the 27th just because I kept checking over stuff to make sure it was done, but I think I was done with my application around the 15th or the 20th. UC applications cost $70. There is a fee waiver that you can apply for within the application, and if you do get it, then you won't have to pay for it. I applied for it just to apply, but I didn't get it. So you should definitely just apply just to see if you can get it, because who doesn't want a free application? Because $70 is expensive. I applied to 4, so it was like $200 something. So yeah. The website you're gonna go to apply is universityofcalifornia.edu/apply. So if you wanna already start looking at the applications for the UCs, you can go ahead and check that out, make an account, and sign in and start, messing with the application. Okay, so another tip for applying to UCs is to get your IGETC verification. And this just means that you've completed all your lower division GEs, and it just makes the transfer process a lot easier, and you don't have to worry about going to university and then still having to take lower division classes. So right here with me, I actually have my UC application. This is my whole application. I printed it out after I submitted it, because I think I just want to have people check it. So you guys can see it's about 10 pages-ish. And I'm just gonna kind of go over the important things about the application and just things that you're gonna need to know and look for when you're applying, and things that are very important that they will look at that will help you get in and make you a more competitive candidate to go to their school. So at first they're just gonna ask, basic information, where are you from, what school did you go to, where do you live, stuff like that. And then you can apply to as many campuses as you want, and for each campus you can select a different major. So for me, I have Berkeley, Irvine, and UCLA with Japanese, and then I have Santa Barbara with communications, and I did put alternate majors. Like if my major is communications, my alternate is Japanese, vice versa. And then you can also apply for scholarships within the application. And it's just, you can just check the boxes, but my counselor said like no one gets those scholarships from the actual application, so just apply for them because you just press like a checkbox. And then it's just asking more information, just like basic, like high school. And then it's gonna ask your colleges attended. So you wanna put all the community colleges you've ever went to. I only went to Santa Monica, so for me, it's just Santa Monica, and they're asking like which semesters I went to that school. And I think if you have skipped a semester, or if you've skipped like an entire year, they kind of ask why that happened. Like a box will come up and be like, why did you not take like classes for this semester or for these semesters? And you can just put I was working, my mom was sick, like whatever happened. And then it also asks if you're gonna get a degree at your community college. So for me, I just put I'm getting an AA in communications. Next, it's gonna start asking your whole entire transcript history. So every single class you've taken, you have to one by one put in each class you've taken and the semester you took it in, and what grade you received. So even if you got an F or a W, which is like a withdrawal or an incomplete, you still have to input this. You cannot skip it. They will find out and they'll be mad. So don't do it. If you got an F, it's okay. Just retake the class, or hopefully it was like a non-college level class so it won't even affect your GPA. So you have to put in everything, and for me, I actually did have one F, which sounds really bad, but it was a non-college level math class, and it wasn't because I actually got an F, it was because I wanted to drop the class, but I wasn't sure if I should drop it and take a W, or if I should just let myself get an F, like by not going to the class, and just take that because it wouldn't affect my GPA. So I went to a counselor and asked her, and she said it was just better if I just left it and didn't take a W. And so I got an F, but I made it up, so it didn't really count. I could have just taken a W, but I didn't really want to. And I do have 2 W's because I just was taking a few classes, and then I was like, I really don't like this class, and it was too late to just like drop it. So yeah, it really isn't that bad if you get W's. Just try not to get too many. I think you don't want any more than 3. And but if you do, just make sure your GPA is high so they won't look at it as much. So just, you have to put your whole history, don't lie, put everything. And it's also gonna ask for your in-progress classes and your planned classes. It's gonna ask for, once again, the golden 4 classes, which is English 1 and 2, statistics, and an oral communication class. But statistics is just a college level math, so it could be anything such as pre-calc or calculus. And after that, if you do want to explain anything about your transcript, like let's say one semester you did really bad, you got like D's and F's, and it just was not a great semester, so they do give you a part of the application after your transcripts to explain why you like got those grades. So for me, I did explain why. I basically just said that it was because I was commuting a half an hour to school, and if you are commuting, make sure to put that in there because it just shows like how hard of a worker you are. So, and I got that tip from one of the workshops I went to. They said they really like to hear that. So I put that I was doing a 1.5 hour commute along with working, and I wanted to take more classes, but I didn't realize like how hard it was gonna be with me commuting and working. So I just put that, and that's just the truth of what happened. And I said, now I've learned to manage my time a bit better, and my UC GPA is a 3.75. So in the additional comment section, you do want to mention your GPA, so you can calculate it yourself, or you can go on your school's website into your records and just see what your GPA is. And you want to put in your transferable GPA, not your like college's GPA, just your UC transferable GPA, and mine was a 3.75, so that just makes it a lot easier in case they accidentally calculate it wrong. So then they're going to ask for volunteer work and community service, and you want to have a lot of this, maybe like 2 or 3 or 4. I had 4, and I just put in that I volunteered at an animal shelter. It's not really an animal shelter, but it's like an adoption place for dogs. And so I put in that. I put in the National Blind Federation because I volunteered with them before, and also just a few other ones. So it's very important to have volunteer work. Even if you have a high GPA, they do want to see that you're doing other things, that you're involved in school, you're involved volunteering or in working. So if you're working all the time, that is kind of okay that you don't have volunteer work as much. But if you're not doing anything, you definitely need to have at least one of them, like either being super involved in school, volunteering, or working. So they're going to ask your work experience, and you just list all of your work experience. After you list your work experience, they're going to ask for your extracurriculars. So I had 3, which was the Alpha Gamma Sigma Honor Society, which was like it's not a sorority, but it's a honors organization based upon your GPA. And we did like volunteer work and stuff like that. And then I was in Black Collegians, and then in high school I was in advanced theater. So you can put a little bit of high school stuff, but I think they care more about what you've been doing like more recently. So yeah, you are gonna need to do the personal statement and essay, and I have the questions for you from last year. So it is, what is your intended major? Discuss how your interests in the subject develop, and describe any experience you've had in the field, such as volunteer work, internships, and employment, participation in student organizations and activities, and what you have gained from your involvement. And the other question was, tell us about a personal quality, talent, accomplishment, contribution, or experience that is important to you. What about this quality or accomplishment makes you proud, and how does it relate to the person you are? So those are the 2 questions. You only have 1,000 words total to answer those, and you can split it up however you want. You can do 250 for one essay, and then you can do 750 for the other one, or you can do 500 and 500. I think I did around 500 and 500 just because I wanted to fully be able to explain myself. The essays were not that difficult for me. But you definitely do have to be honest and just really think about what you want to talk about. But I did get a little stumped a few times, but by the end, I knew what I wanted to write about. So that is about it with transferring to a UC university. It sounds so weird saying UC University, but to a University of California school from a California community college. The other random things is just making sure your email address is updated and always checking your emails, because sometimes they'll email you saying they want transcripts or they want to know what you got in a certain class and stuff like that. But that is about it. So if you guys have any questions about transferring to a UC from a community college, feel free to message me on Twitter or email me if you have a really long question, or just leave the comments right down below. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!